Okay, everybody, I was testing my camera and my software because for some reason things seem to time out after 30 minutes. So right now I started it. It's 12:13. So at 12:40 it should still be running. We shall see. I noticed that when I hooked the charger up to the camera, it wanted to go to its home position.
Forecast for rest of today. Mostly cloudy late this morning, then becoming mostly sunny. A slight chance of showers.
Okay, I am checking and I am live. Okay, I am checking. So happy Father's Day. And we'll see what happens. I could go for a little ride if you'd like. Anybody watching? If you want me to kind of drive through town, leave me what you think, or yes or no, in the live chat if anybody's watching. This is just a test stream. I've had and have used two different platforms to broadcast from. This platform here is supposed to be the better of the two. But I have noticed after going live for 30, 32, 35 minutes on my last two live streams, it cut out after that amount of time, say 35 minutes. It doesn't cut out from the camera to my iPad. I can see, and it's running in the iPad, but it's not broadcasting out after 35 minutes. So the question is, and I think I know the answer, is it the software or is it the camera? And the reason I think I know what the answer is is because I've used a different software and it didn't time out after 35 minutes. So I'm going to do this test right here and see if it does it again. And then I'm going to contact the company and ask them how to remedy the problem. So, I mean, I do like this software, but if it's not working, it doesn't make any difference how much I like it. If it's not working, it's not working. And I'm also trying to figure out a way to, like here I'm on my second camera. Okay, I can hit camera, and then I can hit select device, and I can go back camera, front camera. And this is the front camera. So, I mean, if I can find a way to layer radar into this camera here, that'd be great. And I mean, I can take my phone and do it, but I can't sit there and hold my phone the entire time up against the camera. I mean, that'd be nice if I could get that on there. I'm a little close, but you get the drift. If I could get that on there. But I can't. So, yeah. So I'm going to turn that camera off because I don't need to be in the shot. So, bear with me here. I'm going to shut it off. Okay, camera off. So now we're just back to the regular stream. And I can go, like I said, left or right. Yeah, Andrew's got a nice hat. I'm looking at some text messages in our family group. So, well, I can go for a little ride rather than just sit here. But it's nice that I have, I mean, everything seems to be working. So, you know, I never noticed if that second camera came on the feed. So I'm going to turn it back on just for a second, and then I'm going to watch it. Front ultra wide camera. And if it's front and it's ultra wide, it's really weird though, because, you know, it's a position camera in the iPad. But if you move, it follows you. So I don't know how it can follow you. So anyways. But I'm just checking to see if it shows up. Oh yeah, there it is. So yeah. That would be nice if I could put a radar on there somehow. You know. mean, if I could just find a way to set that in there. As you can see, there's no rain right now. There might be some thin clouds. So if I could find a way to mount this camera right over the top. So let me turn this off. Hello? Messing with my cameras. You what? You had enough what? Well, you let me know when you're ready to be picked up and I'll pick you up. No, no, I'm not coming in there and I'm not sitting for 2 hours waiting for you. Well, you go out. Okay, when you get out to the desk, you call me. Well, when you go out to the desk, you call me and I'll come get you. Bye. I will be. Bye. So about another 20 minutes, we'll know. Like I said, if it stays running, fine. If for some reason it quits, I want to know. Okay, I'll center the camera, and then we'll go for a little ride. And if you do stumble across this test I'm doing in you're watching, I am the weather monkey. I do chase storms. I chase other types of weather. I don't really call it chasing storms, but that's the phrase everyone uses. I like to pick out discrete cells and then meet up with them at a certain location and then follow them. So, I'm retired. I worked in the printing industry for about 20 years. And then I started a lawn service. And I did that for 30 years. So now I've retired from that. I've always been fascinated by weather. So I decided, what the heck? Start chasing these storms. Right now I just kind of stay local. You know, I'm 150 miles away from home, which is Winona, Minnesota. And who knows, in the future, I may travel a little farther. But for now, that's where I'm at. So, anyways, I'll start the vehicle up. Button things up here. Turn the air on. So today you're going to need it. And then I'll go for a ride. And by that time, we should be done testing to see if it broadcasts still. Because I'll be able to tell, because I have an infotainment system like most vehicles do. The only difference is I can go to the Google Play Store and download any app you download to any tablet or phone. And basically they're in my infotainment system. So technically you could watch YouTube while you drive. I don't recommend it. I have had it on. My wife's watching it. But I'm listening to the music or whatever the person's saying. I'm not watching somebody do something on YouTube. I'm pretty much just listening, and my wife's watching so she can pass the time doing that. But when I park, sometimes I'll go to YouTube Music and listen to music, or there's something I want to watch on YouTube, I'll watch it. But when I'm driving, I just pretty much, or I shouldn't say pretty much, definitely look out the front window, not at the YouTube infotainment screen. Or I can watch live TV on it too. So that's like if my wife goes into a store and I'm out there for an hour. I used to be like, come on, get out. What are you doing? But for a moment, that woman wasn't going to stop. And I don't worry about how long she's in the store anymore, unless I have to be somewhere. Because I can, well, I watched Caddyshack once when she was in the store. So, it has its advantages. It's called an IA box, if anyone's interested. I don't sell them. But in certain situations, if you have a passenger, they can work out really good. I noticed that some of the newer cars are splitting their screens, and part of the screen is actually angled towards the passenger. And the driver has the infotainment system for what he needs it for, to drive or she, And then this other part of the screen is for the passenger. I'm sure if the driver wanted to bend over the console and stretch his neck, he could watch it too, but that's not going to happen. So we'll drive up here, and actually it's Steamboat Days in Winona, and there's actually a parade going on right now. I used to sit out there in the hot sun for years. All my children were in marching band, so this was just one of many parades they went to every year. I'll send the camera that direction here so you can see. Oh, we even got a light to stop at. Okay, and there's the parade over there. We'll wait for the light to change here. Actually, the start of the parade's just making it down to the end. And it started, I don't know, 20 minutes ago? Can't really, 30 minutes ago, actually. So anyways, there's the parade down the street there. That's the beginning of it. We're going to stay away from it. I don't need the aggravation of driving through a parade. So let me straighten my camera back out here. And of course we have to turn here because if we go any farther, we'll be stuck in the carnival. Which will be, let me see if I can turn the camera this way. It'll be down this street. You're probably not going to see it. The bus is probably going to get us. But anyways, trust me, it's down there. And a lot of times people will be like, why do they have the festival so early in the summer? Well, I believe they have band competition for high school marching bands. And you got to pick a weekend pretty much before the 4th of July to get the bands to come. Because after the 4th of July, the marching bands kind of take a month-long break. And then they start their fall season with field shows, stuff like that. So, if you put your city festival, say in end of July, August, what's going to happen is you're only going to get maybe the bands from your hometown or a neighboring band, but not 15 different bands competing against each other. So that's why they do it early. Okay, now I notice my camera's not rotating. So, I'm beginning to wonder if it didn't time out. What I'm going to do is stop up here and see if I can turn it back on. I mean, it's showing the feed, but it won't rotate. So, let me stop up here. Let me hit the button on the side. Let me look at what time it says. Okay, 25 minutes. Now let's see if it'll rotate. Yeah, see, it's after a certain time, the rotation kind of times out. Then of course you hit the side button, and then it wakes it up. But it's still running, so that's good. In a few more minutes, we will park again, and we'll take a look and see if I'm still broadcasting. And I don't plan on keeping this up. I'll probably watch it at home on the big screen and then delete it, because this video really has no value as far as anybody really caring to watch it. If you stumbled across it live, I hope you're enjoying your day. So I am in Winona, Minnesota. If you did stumble across this test. And today's probably the warmest day of the year so far. We're supposed to reach about 87 degrees. And I am a storm chaser. So well, I gotta go a couple more blocks because the road's blocked off there for the parade. So anyways, I am a storm chaser, and I have been out chasing storms, and I've lost my broadcast about 34, 33 minutes into the broadcast. My camera's still operating. My software is still showing the broadcast. But for some reason, the broadcast isn't being pushed out from YouTube. So what I'm trying to figure out is if it's the camera, which I don't think it is, because I can go onto a different software platform and it runs the entire time. Now, is there a conflict between this camera and this software? I don't know, because this is a built-in software, and the other software I use is a web-based software. In other words, it sends it directly to their servers and then pushes it out. Where this one here, everything gets pushed out from the connection from the iPad to YouTube. If that makes sense. But like I said, we're up to 28, 29 minutes. And when it hits 30 minutes, I'm going to stop. And I'm going to concentrate on the broadcast out from YouTube, not my feed from the camera to my iPad. And I'm going to see if there's a reason why it quits. He's turning, I hope. Semi going by. I was at the stop sign. The road's not that wide there, so he's probably hoping I would pull out so he could get around that corner. So anyways, I'm going to go up here. Then I'm going to park. Because we're at 30 minutes right now. know where I'm at in the video. So I'm in front of Peerless Chain. Anybody heard of Peerless Chain? If you have, there's the manufacturing facility right there. They were famous for making chain for shipyards, and they moved into tire chains for traction. Yeah. In this building up in front here now, I don't know if you've ever heard of RTP. RTP is a plastics manufacturer. So when you go to the store and you buy something made out of plastic, it's a good chance that they developed what they call the resin for that plastic. It's all beads or strands, and the strands are put together and the beads are formulated to make different strengths of plastic, different flexibilities, hardness, softness, you know. And over here across is the levee, and the river's high right now, so you get a better view of what's on the river. And as you can see, get my camera down. As you can see, there's a tow and barges going down the river. So that's interesting. I don't know of another place I could get so you could see better. I could go up here above RTP. There, now you got a better shot of it. So that's what it's all about. That's what the river and all the locks and dams on the northern part of the Mississippi is all about. Getting grain down the river, getting coal down the river, getting more coal up the river, bringing fertilizer up the river. So, a lot of commerce. And I don't know the exact numbers, but one barge container holds, like, I'm just guessing, 60 semi-trailers full of grain. So, you know, there's 4 or 5 of them on there. And I don't remember the numbers as far as how many train cars either. I'm not even going to begin to guess. But I think it's 60 semi-trailers full of grain for one barge container full. So it's a very economical way of moving product up and down the river. And the Army Corps of Engineers is in charge of the river. And there's, gosh, I don't know, I want to say 17, 18 lock and dam between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. So, well, it's been 34 minutes now, and checking to see if my feed's still working. I think it is. But if it quit, I'll know real quick. See, the guy with the cart pulled up there, and now he's pulled away. You probably can't see it, but a few seconds ago, a bald eagle flew across the river into the trees. But this is a nice view. I'm still broadcasting. It's been 35 and a half minutes. So, I don't know what happened the other day. It puzzles me. And last night. I just don't get it. I see a lot of the front end of my vehicle here. And that's because of the position I'm in. I can take it out of there. I still haven't figured out how they churn those barges in front of that tow. I'm not sure if it's just total engine power, left and right, or if they have like a rudder underneath it that turns it. As far as the tow itself, the barges, they don't have anything. They're just floating steel containers. So it's hard to tell. Okay, I'm up to 40 minutes almost, and I'm still broadcasting. So the puzzle now is, why didn't it broadcast the last 2 times I was using it driving? And the both times I've used it and it quit on me after 30 minutes, I was on interstate. So it wasn't self-service causing it, because the best place to find cell service and continuously keep it is on an interstate. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would probably say 99.9% of all interstate has cell service. There may be a few little valleys where you might lose cell service, as far as LTE, where you might lose cell service. For a few minutes or a few miles. As far as cell phones, I would guess they work a lot more than 99% of the time. So, as you can see, we got blue sky here with some clouds. If you ever bought a garbage can, a galvanized steel garbage can, that's Barron's company right there. They've been making garbage cans for a long time. And of course, I'll show you on the right here, or the left, excuse me, this original first buildings that Windcraft manufactured out of. Windcraft was a local sports memorabilia company. They started out making buttons that you put on your shirts, advertising buttons. You know, you can get a Minnesota Twins button or Marlins button, or now, of course, they've gotten into shirts, hats, anything you want as an accessory for something around your house, you can get. And it's probably manufactured and sold by Windcraft. I've seen outdoor barbecue grill covers with like Georgia Bulldogs on it, or Iowa Hawkeyes, or you name it. They make them for any team, especially college and professional. You could probably special order high school stuff, because I know they made buttons for high school. Okay. This building here we're looking at is owned by Winona Canoe, where they make fiberglass canoes. And this building up here is another of the Windcraft's building. They were bought by Fanatics. And this building is huge. You could probably walk from one end to the other and you walk a half a mile, because it just keeps going and going and going, as you can see. Do a U-turn here and we'll go back over there. But that is a huge building. It's warehouse pretty much. I'm not sure if they do any manufacturing in this building or not. On the right side over here, I don't know if you've ever bought sheet music. If you're an older person, you probably did. This is Hal Leonard. Started in the basement of a business downtown. They print sheet music. This is one of their warehouses. I can actually go by their other warehouse. So this is Hal Leonard Corporation. I know they have I'm pretty sure it's manufacturing and warehouse facility in Waukesha or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right in there. I'm not sure exactly which one. Up here on the left is what got me to Winona. I grew up in northeastern Illinois. My parents are from this area. They retired, and I started looking for work. And I was in the printing trade, and this company here was Winona Printing. And it's where I got my first job here. Now it's called Mediascope. Here on the left is I'm pretty sure it's a little bit of warehouse maybe, but this is where they had the printing presses. They probably still do. I just haven't been in there. This is another building of Hal Leonard's. And the one on the right is another building for Windcraft, Fanatics. That used to be part of Hellenter. They sold it to Windcraft or leased it, I don't know. Windcraft is in there. If you know much about Winona, but I think there's 27,000 people in the city. The city of Goodview is just to the west of Winona, and there's probably 4,000 people there. And straight up ahead of me, top of that bluff there, is what is known as a historical landmark. It's called Sugarloaf. And it was carved out of limestone. Many years ago, before my time. Before my parents' time, too. And I know I showed you several of the homegrown businesses in Winona. The biggest one as far as employers is Fastenal. Fastenal was started in Winona by a gentleman, and he had it for several years. The idea was to put fasteners in a vending machine. So if you're working at a factory and you need certain size fasteners, you have a card and you go to the vending machine, you get the fasteners you need, the card documents who you were, when you took them, and that way they didn't have to have people out handing out fasteners all day long. Well, it grew from there into a supplier of fasteners, and from there they went into a supplier of electrical, supplier of cleaning supplies, many other products. And they started opening up stores, and I'm not sure how many stores they have now, but they have a lot of them. They, several years back, actually started sponsoring a car at NASCAR. It's kind of not funny, but interesting. I was watching a race, I'm not sure if it was this spring or last summer, and it was like Fastenal car number 1, Menards car number 2. All we needed was a Quick Trip car in a race, KWIKTRIP, and a Culver's car in a race. It had been all upper Midwest cars. Someday they should do that. For some race, they should put a Quick Trip car in the race, they should put a Culver's car in the race, and add them to the Fastenal and the Menards car. So we're at 50 minutes. I'm going to shut this off by the time we get to an hour. I don't see any point in running it any longer. I mean, the feed is working, and it's been over 45 minutes. That's the point I wanted to make. To see if the feed kept working or if it cut out after a half hour. Because it did it twice before. And I wasn't very happy because one of them I had a gustnado along the highway, and I mean the wind was blowing and the dirt was being sucked up into the air. There was no rotation, so I knew it wasn't a tornado, but the updraft was just pulling that dirt up into the clouds, and I mean it was pulling it into the scud. Obviously there was a lot of scud around, so that kind of upset me when it didn't run that video. And then last night I just went out to test it again, and it did the same thing. It shut off after 30 minutes. And I had some really vivid strikes of lightning in front of me, and I didn't have it. And of course, you don't know anything about it because those were the most interesting part of the videos, and I didn't have it, so I just deleted them. I just went past the building on the corner there. I don't know if you saw it or not, but they do stained glass windows all over the world. They design them, they refurbish them, and they install them. Winona is supposedly the stained glass capital of manufacturing in the world. You know, something like that is a trade. You start out doing it and you hire people to help you, and by people hired to help you, hey, I can do this. Why am I working for this guy? So 20 years later, instead of having one stained glass studio in town, you got 4 or 5 of them. So I'm watching the road, but you know, my eyes keep looking up, seeing if there's anything developing out west. I haven't looked at the radar since I started this string. But I will when I'm done here. Probably a good place to go would be out near Rochester, maybe a little north of Rochester, Minnesota. Kind of wait out there to see if anything develops. Good news is the price of gas went down 4 or 5 cents a gallon. In Winona, we have a Hy-Vee grocery store, and if you hit it just right, you can get like coupons for 50 cents off a gallon for every $100. Sometimes even better deals than that of groceries. And I had $1.20 off per gallon coupon, or it's called fuel rewards, but you understand. And I used them, and with my 16-gallon gas tank, I only bought like 14 and a half gallons. I saved $30. because I not only got the $1.20 off, I buy my fuel at Sinclair. Yeah, they're still around. And I get another 25 cents off a gallon when I use my app on my phone. So I saved $30, $29.90 or something like that. So it was less than half price. So I'm gonna go park over here. You know, there's a guy out there. He drives through towns and he does videos. And he always starts at the local Walmart. I'm gonna end this one at the local Walmart. And I'm not gonna go in and get any Mountain Dew either. If you've ever watched his videos, you know exactly who I'm talking about. So let me find a place to park over here, and I'll end this video. And if I don't get any likes on it, oh, that reminds me. On YouTube, please like and subscribe. On Facebook, follow. I can't go on Facebook right now because they changed the rules. You either have to have 100 followers and been on Facebook for 60 days, or they won't let you broadcast live, which is crazy because if you start a new broadcast, you start a new Facebook channel or page, how are you going to have 100 subscribers? Nobody even knows you're there. The only way you could do it is if you were in your 20s and you had 100 friends, and how everybody gets together and they all like each other and follow each other. That's about the only way you could do it. I mean, I've been on Facebook and I only have maybe 35 followers. They're all my family, a couple other people. So I guess I just have to get as many people to follow as I possibly can before I can go live on Facebook. Now, YouTube, that's a different story. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. I'd really appreciate it. This is, baby steps for me. I'm not out to change the world. I'm not out to be the remotely close to a streamer with 10,000 viewers. I mean, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm retired and I like doing it. So that's where we're at. Okay, we're at 58 minutes. I said I was going to shut it down before the hour, and I'm about there right now. So I hope everybody enjoys their coming week. I hope it's not too hot where you're at. If you do get warm, get in the shade, drink some water earlier in the morning, because if you're going to be outside, it's going to get hot, humid. Make sure you drink water in the morning before you leave the house. I mean, if you start feeling lightheaded and it's hot, you can drink water. It'll help you. Better than nothing at all. But it's better to get the fluid into you before you need it. I cut lawns for 30 years. I can only remember one time, and this was when I was using a push mower. I can only remember one time where the heat bothered me, and I was able to go basically stand over a sprinkler somebody was watering their lawn with, and that helped me out a lot. But that's the only time, because I made sure I drank enough water in the morning. Plus, you're out in it every day, you do kind of get used to it. I've always wondered, these younger people, they sit in their house all summer and don't do anything, and then football practice starts in the fall, and they can't handle it because they never got accustomed to it. And some of your hottest days are the second, third week of August, and that's right when they start football practice. So if you know anybody out there that's going to be in high school and they're going to start football, get them out of the house and get them doing things to get themselves used to the temperatures and the humidity, and their body will handle it much better when they go out to have football practice. Even professionals, to a point, have the same problem. So, well, it's been an hour. I'm going to end this stream. Hope, like I said, everybody enjoys their day and their week coming.